Brian Schriner, Dean, FIU College of Architecture and the Arts. As Dean, I try to approach each day as not as the Dean, but as an employee of the university and a citizen of Miami. So if my son or daughter were going to college, what would he or she be expecting of someone who has the responsibility of leading that college? So that's how I approach the job. So as Dean, I try to create opportunities for students and faculty each day. And you do that by listening to what's happening in our community, by getting to know the students, by getting to know the faculty, by reducing and not creating additional barriers between yourself and them, so you can speak honestly and on a regular basis with them and create open lines of communication. So my job is basically to create opportunities. So whether those opportunities are for our students to get better jobs, to improve the pedagogy, to find financial resources to support them in their education, creative activities for our faculty, research opportunities, that's essentially what I do every day. The College of Architecture and the Arts is a very unique college. It's one of the first in the country to combine design, so we have master's degrees in architecture, interior architecture, and landscape and environmental urban design. We have undergraduate and graduate degrees in School of Music. We have undergraduate and graduate degrees in art and art history, undergraduate degrees in theater, and undergraduate degrees in communication arts. So again, we're one of the few universities in the country that combine design, visual art, and performing art communication in one college under one dean with an engaged mission. The mission is unique. It's based on how the college was formed. So we have this very unique situation being in Miami. Miami has transformed itself economically around arts, design, and culture primarily. We have a very unique university. We are the only state university in Miami. We're the fourth largest institution in the country. And you have a unique composition of academic disciplines in the College of Architecture and the Arts. So if you look at all those things together, we created a very unique mission, and that mission is to use the power of architecture and the arts to create, innovate, and inspire solutions to local challenges with national and global impacts. So what that means in English is that means looking at Miami and this beautiful, diverse, energetic, transformative city and everything that's happening in it, using that as our living laboratory, and then asking our design students, our performing arts, our visual arts, communication arts students to look for solutions through their curriculum and then apply those solutions locally as well as nationally and globally. I think there's a general consensus at the federal, national, and local levels that innovation is going to be the key to the 21st century economy. So the question becomes, what is innovation? And innovation is new ideas, new methodology, new services, new products, new industry. And then what role will higher education play in this innovative economy? So if we start looking at those things holistically, we have a very unique, as I mentioned earlier, a very unique opportunity to play a role in that. Not just because of FIU's size, but this very unique composition of the college. So the federal government and the state government has decided that STEM education is extremely important. So what is STEM education? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So the federal government has emphasized that they would like to see by 2020 100,000 teachers come out of higher education certified to teach in the STEM disciplines. They've also set as a goal to have 1 million students STEM disciplines, but in fact technology has completely transformed the artistic and design disciplines. So many of our disciplines in the college are STEM disciplines. Architecture, landscape architecture, graphic design, animation, and several others fall under STEM disciplines. But most people traditionally don't think of arts and design as STEM disciplines. Our approach in the college is that while we agree that STEM education will be essential for the nation, many of the problems the nation will face, whether they be economic competitiveness, healthcare, transportation, national defense, STEM will be at the heart and innovation will be at the heart. But we believe in a much broader approach, and it's a false dichotomy to think of just STEM education or arts education, when in fact Historically, when you look at arts and sciences, they go together. It's not a dichotomy between one or the other. So we begin looking at how do you integrate convergent and divergent thinking. Convergent thinking is looking things straight on, the scientific method, which is traditional STEM disciplines. But the divergent thinking, which is the ability to look at things from multiple points of view, to be flexible in your approach, to think outside the box, creativity, that's taught through arts and design. So it's the combination of divergent and convergent thinking that this college is all about. So people often hear me say C plus D equals I. Convergent plus divergent pedagogy equals innovation. And the college's mission is centered around create, innovate, inspire these solutions to local challenges with national and global impacts. It's that philosophy. If we use Miami as our living laboratory, so one of the issues facing Miami today will be sea level rise and climate change. So our students and the faculty are working collaboratively through a university initiative called the Sea Level Solution Center, of which the college is a part of that. And they're doing design charrettes and looking at ways of new building materials. So if you look at sea level rise, there's two approaches to this. There's the sustainability, what are we doing to reduce carbon emissions, carbon footprint, et cetera. But then the resiliency part, the solution part, how can we innovate new design technologies, new building materials, new transportation modes, new ways of moving people, new ways of economic development. So it's divergent and convergent thinking coming together to look. So that's one example. Sea level rise is something to look at. This college was formed in 2006, all right? And in 2006, the Great Recession hit in 2008, so we faced an uphill battle immediately. We came out of that stronger than we went in because we created a college that was completely transparent and transdisciplinary, which means we were trying to knock down all artificial barriers and silos. Much of what I said earlier about my role as the dean is not to create artificial barriers. So we tried to eliminate pigeonholing, for lack of a better word, students into a discipline. So we have architects working with musicians, working with art historians. Students take a broad array of arts and design courses. In our School of Architecture, we're one of the few schools in the country that have architecture, interior architecture, and landscape architecture as part of the school. So that in and of itself is interesting. But the first 2 years of their education, the architects, landscape architects, and interior architects all take the same studios. So they're interdisciplinary studios, so they get a full range of thinking, creative thinking in that process. As they go through their last 3 years towards their graduate degree, they begin to focus more on their discipline, but then before they graduate, we bring them all back together on a multidisciplinary studio. So those are just a few of the examples of how the design people, design faculty and staff work together, design students and faculty. In the performing arts, music and theater cooperate on a regular basis. Our art faculty, we have a composer in residence at our Miami Beach Urban Studios, which is on Lincoln Road. And he is working with creating composition of 3D printers as well as the string quartet. So you've got all these, the ideas that we're not in a single unit, we're in transdisciplinary units looking at problems, and then how do we approach the problem from different angles.